Hey guys! So today I have a mini haul for you from when I was in Barcelona recently. We were there for just the weekend and it was barely enough time, it felt like. But while we were there, we were able to do some shopping and it was so much fun checking out all of these super rad and super cute stores there. And by the way, I will have a travel vlog coming out for it, but I filmed so much that it's taking me a little bit longer to go through, and so I figured I would do this haul first. But when it's done, I'll have a link in the description. So I'm going to start with the small stuff, and the first item that I'm going to show you is actually the last item that I bought. We were spending our last couple hours in Barcelona just doing a little bit more exploring, walking around, and we came across this store that had a very eye-catching thing in front of it. It was this giant cow statue with the store name on it, which is, I think, Alley-Up. And I fell in love with this store, you guys. I'm so into, cute things, fluffy things, like gadgets and gifts and trinkets. This store was so much fun, and we saw a couple of them. I think it's a chain, it must be a chain. And I just went around touching everything and looking at everything and kind of playing with stuff. There was so much stuff in there that I wanted but just did not need. You know, that is definitely a store that's perfect for birthdays, perfect for gifts, and perfect for stuff that you want but you don't need. But luckily I did come across something that I do actually need, and so I was super excited to find gloves. And so it's not as exciting, you know, but it is, you know, it's still part of the haul. And so there are these just, you know, winter gloves. They have the classic snowflake winter knitted pattern, but with pink, white, and black, and they are so soft and comfortable. My old gloves that I had just were really thin and they were not warm, and so I legitimately needed a pair of warmer gloves. And so when I was in this store where I just wanted everything, but I was practicing restraint and not buying shit I didn't need, and then I saw these and I was like, okay, well I need those, so I'm gonna get them. And they were only €6, and so I was really jazzed about that. By the way, all the prices will be in euros, except for the very last thing. I do know what the USD conversion is, and the only thing about them is that the fingers are a little tall. They are one size gloves, you know, they didn't have different sizes available, and so some of the fingers are a little bit too tall, but that's okay. I'm just happy that they're warm and cute and so soft. Oh my god, this little bit right here too is so soft. And the inside is so soft. I'm super into it. So this was the last thing that I bought, but the first item of the haul, so let's continue. And so the next items I'm going to show you are actually the first things that we bought in Barcelona. So there's this store called Madame Chocolat, or Madame Chocolate. I'm not necessarily sure how exactly they pronounce it. It's this super, super cute J fashion, alternative fashion, Lolita store. Here is one of their cards, like that, and then this is their business card, so super, super, super cute. And they had lots of super fun stuff in there. They had a range from just kind of traditional gothy emo to steampunk, Victorian, Lolita, visual kei, kawaii. They had a really awesome selection despite being in a really tiny store. But we did talk to the employee there, and they are expanding. They're moving into a bigger location this year. But they don't just carry clothes, they carry accessories and hair stuff, and so we actually got some hair dye. And so this is a brand that is actually super accessible for us. They carry it all over Europe. It's Directions, and it's in the shade Poppy Red. And so this wasn't necessarily something that was specific to Barcelona, specific to Spain, but it's something that we needed while we were there, so we decided, hey, we're here, why not? We like the store, we want to support it, so let's get it. And just to clarify, by we, I mean me and my partner Nate. And this is definitely a double buy because he'll be doing some red in his hair soon, and then I will be doing red in my hair later, so definitely not anytime soon, but potentially in a couple months, or a few months. We will see. And the price on this was $7.95. Then the next thing that we got from Madame Chocolat is something that I have been hesitating to buy for a long time, and now that I finally did, I don't know how I put it off this long. Luckily Nate was there because he was very convincing that it was something that I needed, and he turned out to be very right. And they are oversized socks, and so they might just look you know, normal kind of sporty socks, but they're legitimately thigh-high socks. Something that's always kind of bothered me about socks and stockings and stuff is that usually if something is sold as thigh-high, they mean just above the knee-high. And so then when we saw these socks hanging up and they were advertised as oversized thigh high, they had a little picture on the display of how high they go, and I was like, really? And at first I was a little hesitant because they were €14.95, €14.95. And I was kind of like, that's a lot for socks, you know, like that's like, it's a bit pricey for me for one pair of socks, but y'all, it's fucking worth it. I'm so fucking hyped that I actually got this. And so this is what they look like. And the brand on these is super fun for me because they are American socks. How perfect is that? My life has come full circle that I bought American socks in Barcelona, Spain, brought them back to Amsterdam, Netherlands, where I had moved from America. That's pretty great, right? And so this is what they look like on, and I was worried at first that they would be too tight, that they would go sheer maybe, that they would kind of cut off my leg, cut off circulation, they would be uncomfortable. But it turns out that these are so comfortable. They're thicker, but they're not too thick, you know, they're not hot. They're cozy, you know, they're like secure, they don't fall down, they don't slip down, they don't go sheer, they don't cut off my leg in any weird way. These are so fantastic, I'm so happy with them, and I'm so excited to finally have legitimately thigh-high socks. Like, come on. These are amazing. And so next up is a card game, actually, so it's a little bit different from what I usually have in my hauls. We got this from Gigamesh, and we were told that it's the largest sci-fi fantasy bookstore in Europe. And we had a lot of fun looking in that store. We saw lots of different stuff. They have books, they have comics, they have lots of games, card games, board games, so many different types of things. This game was recommended to us by one of the employees there. It's called Multi-Universum. We wanted to buy a game that was 2-player because we don't have any games here, and we both do like playing games, and so we wanted something that we could have at home that we could play, and also we played it at the airport and on the airplane. And it's actually a 1 to 5 player game, and it is so much fun. And I cannot remember how much it was. So I'm sorry about that, and it doesn't like have a price on the box. It was like, it had the price, the sticker on the wrapping. The next item that I got is from a super cool store setup called Flamingo Gallery. Flamingo Vintage is a international chain, actually. It's like this vintage store setup where it's by the kilo, so you pay by weight. But one of the locations in Barcelona has this really cool setup up front, and it's not necessarily vintage clothes, but it's these little individual stores that are part of this gallery thing, and it was so cool. Each store is completely separate and different from each other, and they have totally different items, totally different looks. This was another place where I practiced a lot of self-restraint. There's a lot of stuff there that I super wanted, but I knew were like very special pieces that I probably wouldn't wear that often and that I didn't really have the money to spend on. But then I finally found this cropped hoodie with these ring details down the sleeves. I love cropped long sleeve things, and I love cropped sweaters, cropped hoodies, and of course I love black, and I also love silver metal accent details, and this just drew my eye. And so this is what it looks like on. I super like it. It's very soft on the inside. I love the silver ring details going down each sleeve. The only thing that could maybe make this better is if it had thumb holes. I'm such a sucker for thumb holes. I love that look, and so I'm considering just doing it myself to this. So I might be adding thumb holes later if I feel brave enough, if I feel like I won't fuck it up, so we'll see. And so this item was from the specific store called Lair, I believe. Lair. And I tried to look them up, but they didn't seem to have any internet presence since 2014. And so at first I kind of like wasn't sure if that's actually who I bought from, but then I checked on my bank statement and it said that it was like Lair. There's no brand tag in here. There's care instructions, but there's no like brand tag to tell me who it's from. There's no logo. It was the store section that's kind of split in half by the hallway, and it has black and white tiling on it. I didn't look at any signs, unfortunately. I didn't ask the person for a business card. I really should have. And I thought that I had filmed it, but when I looked back at my footage, I didn't. So that's my bad. And the price on this one was €24. So the very last item that I have to show you, the last item of this mini haul, and the thing that I'm the most excited about, even more excited than the socks, and you might have already guessed if you've paid attention to the thumbnail, they are these New Rock boots. I have been wanting and saving up for a pair of New Rocks for a really long time, and New Rock is a Spanish company. They have a store in Barcelona, and so I figured what better place to be able to try on, test out, and then buy my very own pair of New Rocks then Spain. And I did kind of surprise myself with this specific pair. I didn't really know that they had an all black version of this model. So I went into this thinking that I was going to get the classic silver accented New Rocks, but when I saw that they had an all black version, I definitely started to question that. And there definitely was some deliberation made. I tried on this pair and I tried on basically the same model except for with the silver accents and then vegan leather. And so disclaimer, New Rock predominantly works in leather, but they do have a vegan leather line. And this pair is not vegan. So if anybody was wondering, these are real leather. And while I do still love the look of the silver accented New Rocks, the all black version is definitely just more me. These boots are not cheap, and so I was looking for an everyday wear boot, something that I could wear with everything. And it's not to say that the silver accented one wouldn't go with everything, but I think that the all black version I would feel comfortable wearing in every situation. I decided to go with the all black ones that are a little bit more subtle, but that still do have the really awesome details if you look up close. And luckily, while we were there, the store was having a sale. I think it was just 10% off, but still at that price point, 10% is a lot of money to save. And so these were 196 euros and 29 cents. And I do know exactly what I paid in US dollars for those because I had to use my US debit card because my Dutch debit card didn't have enough money on it. And so I ended up paying $243.78, which is what I was prepared for. That's what I've been saving up for. It was technically $7 under budget. I was prepared to pay $250. And so at that price point, buying these shoes was not just like an impulse thing. This was a planned purchase. I knew that I was going to go to the New Rock store in Barcelona, Spain, and I knew that I was going to want to try to buy something I had been saving up for a while. This is not a impulse buy. This is a very serious big deal for me. And so these are officially the most expensive pair of shoes that I own. This is the most I have ever paid for shoes. And so this is what the soles look like. I have started wearing them already. I'm working on breaking them in. They're surprisingly comfortable for how new they are. And so this is how they look on. And right now, all of the metal detailing is black, but I'm told that that will eventually wear away to a more coppery color. I'm not super sure how I'm going to feel about that, to have the black turn to copper color. I didn't actually know that there was a thing that happened to it until after I bought them, but we will see. We will cross that bridge when we get there. As for now, I am in love with how these look. They are the perfect everyday boot for me. This is exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I've been saving up for. I'm just so excited to finally have a pair of New Rocks of my own that actually fit me. I did used to have a pair of platform New Rocks. You can see them in my goth boot collection video. I'll have a link in the description if you want to see it. But those were actually a size too small for me. I found them heavily discounted in a secondhand store and I just couldn't resist buying them, and they felt fine when I tried them on in store. But then I wore them one day and my feet were just wrecked. And I was really sad about that. And so I'm really happy to finally have my own pair of New Rocks that fit me, they're the right size, and they're comfortable. Alright, so that is it for this haul. That is all the items that I got while I was visiting Barcelona. There were so many other great stores that I didn't talk about that we visited, that we looked through, that had awesome stuff that I just didn't buy from, mainly because I was operating under a strict budget because of the New Rocks. And so that's why this was a mini haul. Even though I could have done a huge shopping spree in Barcelona, I just don't have the money. I'll have information and links to all the shops and products that I mentioned, if available, in the description, along with my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, YouNow, and Patreon. And feel free to subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!